All right. So welcome everyone to Half Hour Empower, or Empower Half Hour. I'm tongue-tied today. My name is Patty Marmon, and tonight's exclusive interview is with Leann Westman. I'm super excited for y'all to hear this story. But before we get into that, many women are looking for job security in this current market, and the direct sales industry is generating over $145 billion. And it's evident that a lot of the direct sales companies are providing higher quality product, competitive compensation plans, as well as inspirational training that is helping to explode their bottom line. Pure Romance is one of those direct selling companies that is on the cutting edge, and they offer products such as bath, beauty, lingerie, massage, relationship enhancement items, as well as education and information to strengthen couples' relationships, but also keep single women safe. Their product line is highly unique. Their compensation plan, their hostess plan is extraordinary, but more importantly, Pure Romance truly cares about their consultants. They offer an opportunity for any woman to earn anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month doing just a couple of parties, as well as the ability to earn a six-figure income through their impressive training and support programs. Pure Romance has definitely changed the life of Leann Westman and several of her consultants. And so tonight we're going to hear what the buzz is all about and learn a little bit from Leann Westman. So please help me welcome Leann. Yay! Leann, I'm so excited, from Louisiana. Hey! Awesome.
How are y'all?
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so, Leann, to get started, your story is so inspirational, so amazing. You were on the brink of divorce. You were on the brink of, I believe, disability. Oh my gosh. Your life, you were at a challenging point in your life. Could you share your story with everyone?
Sure. I was facing a really destructive surgery. I had a lot of injuries to my ankle. I was working in a hotel where my boss made the devil wears Prada boss look like an angel. And so when I told her I had to have surgery, she said absolutely not. Ended up having to have the surgery anyway because it was so detrimental that I got terminated, which I sued and won, donated that money, but because I was making so much money doing what I do now. But I'd had that surgery, and then I had to have another one. And in between those two surgeries, my best friend said, "Hey, come to this party with me." And I was like, "No, I don't want to go." And so the entire time I was in the corner, like, in the fetal position, basically crying. And I didn't want to tell my friend that my husband and I were about to file for divorce the next Monday. And that party was on Saturday night. So that Monday we were going. So I went to the shopping room just to be nice. Didn't want to be rude. I was going to buy some between the sheets. And I started talking to the consultant, and I broke down. And, she said, "What's wrong?" And I told her, and she said, "I can fix that for you, honey." And so $150 later, he locked me out of the car in the rain.
Oh my gosh.
I was furious. And, the next morning, he said, "Let's give it a whirl. Let's see how this goes." And it worked. And he goes, "You need to start doing this." And so then, I had to have another surgery back to back. And then I asked my doctor, and, "Can I do this?" And she said, "It's either this or disability. You don't have a choice." Because it could not put me back into hotels if for some reason the power goes out and I'm stuck on the 30th floor or something like that. So she said, "You have to make this job." So I sat on the fence a little bit longer. There was a kit sale that came up, and I utilized the kit sale. I called my in-laws and said, "Hey, look, we got this bill that we forgot about." And they said, "Sure, come pick up the money." And I immediately went, bought my kit. And my first party, I bought my kit on Wednesday. I received my kit on Friday. That's when we were in slumber parties, corporate warehouse. is literally 2 miles from my house where I live right now. So I just drove over there, picked up my kit, and my first party was on Saturday. I profited $400 in that first party. The next week, I did another party where I profited $700. So it just started kind of like the snowball effect. Once you do that, it's like a drug. It becomes addicting. Then in August of 2012, we had Hurricane Isaac, which meant that I had 0 parties on the books. Everybody canceled on me. I was giving away the farm. I was at a low point where, is this going to really work? And I made it we had training in Dallas, and I went to Dallas and just kind of absorbed. I was just a sponge. I learned everything I could. And then I just slowly started implementing it into my business. The first full month of everything in my business was October 2012, where I rolled out a $5,000 month. And then it was just consecutively growing after that. And I've never done really any less than since then. So,
oh my gosh! So just within 1 week of purchasing your kit, you had $1,200 profit. What did your husband say?
He was like, "Oh my God, is this really happening?" There have been weeks or months where it's September 1st, and I've made more on that day than he'll pull in all month. And so, when you profit $3,000 on one day or in a weekend, and I'm like, honey, guess what? Bills are paid. And he's like, well, how much did you make this week? And I'm like, I made $3,000. And he's like, you made more in 2 nights than I make all month. And that's when we made the decision for him to retire. Just because we were financially sound at that point. And then he started buzzing around my office gardening, and so I sent him back to work.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So could you tell me what have you enjoyed most about being with Pure Romance?
Oh, Pure Romance. I enjoy the sisterhood. I enjoy the company, just the benefits, the perks. I've traveled a lot with this company, places I never would have been. It's just amazing. They spoil us rotten. So that's my favorite thing. They take care of us.
I highly agree. I highly agree with that. Well, Leann, could you tell me if someone's out there and they're thinking about becoming a consultant, how would she get started?
Buy your kit. Do what you have to do. One thing I tell the girls who are potentially recruits with me, I tell them, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. I wanted it bad enough. I found a way. I did what I had to do. I know of consultants who have borrowed money, paid people back. I just recently signed a girl who borrowed money, and she's already paid back the borrowing money that she used. Just do what you have to do. Get that kit. If it means you don't pay your cable, I don't watch cable anymore because I don't have time. So don't pay your cable bill, buy your kit. It's totally worth it. I have cable now because my husband sits in front of it all day, but I don't have time to watch it. Do what you have to do. If you want it, go out, kill that lion and bring it home.
Oh, I love it. So if someone was thinking about getting started with Pure Romance, and do they have to worry about a quota? Because I get asked all the time, is there a quota? What do you tell your potential consultants?
The quota is what you would spend for yourself. It's $100 every 2 months. And that's it's stupid easy. I usually tell them, that's one ticket in a shopping room with me. So I don't really I don't even notice is a quote anymore. I just don't even realize it because I've never been that low. And then I do tell them that once you get to the higher levels to get your lifestyle bonus, there are minimums, but once you're succeeding at that level, you don't even notice them anymore.
So Leann, what kind of support did you have getting started with Pure Romance? And what kind of training? You mentioned one of the trainings going to Dallas, but what kind of what did you do to learn the business?
I really didn't have a supportive upline. That's a lot of nonsense. But anyway, I self-taught. There was really one person who kind of showed me the ropes, but I learned everything on my own. And in Dallas, I learned how to do booking games. I learned how to pick up the phone and have conversations with women. I learned how to upsell in the shopping room, the 3 keywords of entitled, God, I'm losing it right now. Entitled, they're eligible, they've qualified. Those are the 3 keywords in the shopping room. Just really how to communicate and how to build rapport with your clients. I have a client that I've been doing parties for since day one. My original hostess is now on my team from the very first party. So, just definitely, learn everything you can get. There's so much out there information, but I taught myself. I'm a nerd. I put my hand on anything I can get my hand on, any book, anything I could learn, I would.
Oh, I love that. So you could learn, you could do a little or you could do a lot. And speaking of, you obviously do a lot. And one of the things I'd love for you to share, one of the topics is, during our recent booking blitz, you were one of the top bookers, or the top booker in the company, or in your level. And you had like over 60 parties that you booked in 1 week, all to be held by the end of November. And these are parties and not Facebook or catalog parties. Could you share, so if there's someone out there that's thinking, okay, I want to get started with pure romance, but how do I go about getting parties? Could you share what you did? Because it's amazing. It's amazeballs.
First thing that I see a lot of new recruits when they come in, they're saying, oh, well, I can't book any parties because my friends won't hold parties for me. The first thing you have to do is step out of that comfort zone of having your friends book parties with you. They're not going to hold, they're not going to sustain. So get out of that comfort zone and reach out and meet new women, talk to women everywhere, build that client base. When I first started, the saturation here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana was so much because Slumber was headquartered here. So I reached out to North Louisiana. I went as far as I could. And what I did was I retained those clients. So when it comes to booking blitzes like this, I can rely on those hostesses. I can call them and say, you haven't seen me in 2-3 months. You got to see what's new. And I don't know if y'all can really see, I have a whole file over here. And these are all hostesses down at the bottom. So I can go and pull those sheets and call those hostesses and say, hey, look, we need to do a party. We've got the new selfie collection. We've got the blush collection. We've got these platinum toys and these diamond toys that you haven't seen. So, let's book a party. Let's go ahead and get it scheduled. I don't give them the option of saying no. I'm like, you're having a party whether you like it or not, I'm coming. So, and one thing with Chris, I've always said this whenever he's been in town and I've been around Chris, I'm the one where it's like, pester him until you get that restraining order. Thankfully, nobody's given me a restraining order yet. I'm kind of waiting for that first one, but I'm always on my hostesses. Girls who keep telling me, oh, one day I'll book a party with you. Those are the girls that I go back to. I have a whole log where I go back and I call them and I said, look, now's the time to do it. I'm offering this incentive or that incentive. And I really didn't offer too many incentives during the booking blitz, except for myself. That's the incentive they get, is me coming to do their party.
Oh, I love it. Definitely. So a consultant that's out there saying, okay, all right, you've explained how I can get parties. How much could they make? What is the average party? And could you share how they get paid?
The average party is around $400 to $500, and you get paid that night. So how I do it is I use PayPal here. So if they pay with a credit card, I just slide their card through, do the transaction. And let's just say, for example, it's a $100 order.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a 53% buying discount. So 53% of that $100 is mine to see as I do fit. Now, I usually reorder inventory, but I tell my recruits that, you know, if you've got to feed your kids or pay a bill, take care of your family first. So whenever I have a new onboarding recruits, I give them a 60-40 rule. 60% either you invest that back into your inventory and demo, or 60% that feeds your family, whichever one works for you, and then take the 40% and then do the other. So if they take 60% and invest that into their demo, they can take that 40% and put it towards their bills, or vice versa. But definitely, you know, I'm sorry. I just thought. Well, I'm tired if you haven't seen my party schedule.
Exactly. That's why I was so happy to get you in, because I knew what your party schedule was like coming up. And so I do appreciate you taking the time out. Now, I do have another question. As a consultant is building her business, could you share some of the benefits and incentives for a brand new consultant, but also as you build your team?
Part of the benefits of becoming a consultant, first off, you get an amazing company that's going to support you 100% in everything that you do. Chris and Patty really, truly do care about each and every one of their consultants. So one day I had the flu, and, you know, I got a phone call going, how are you feeling? And one day a tornado hit Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and they call me going, are you okay? So, you know, they really do care about us. Also, the benefits of this company are endless. First off, you get it. Income that you can make your own schedule. I'm not a
Leann, I lost you.
morning person at all, and every day. Even on party days, I sleep until noon because my parties are in the afternoon or evening. But also, you get free products, you get bonuses. That lifestyle bonus is amazing. The overrides off of your team. Overrides go well into the thousands of dollars, and that's just for breathing. I haven't paid a car note out of my own personal income, which is party income or anything like that. I haven't paid a car note since July of 2014. So all of my car notes are paid for by my override, and I usually have money left over to do whatever I want with, go on a trip or anything like that. But that's my biggest thing, is my car is being paid for by Pure Romance. I haven't paid that bill in so long. But also, you know, you have options to win trips and all kinds of prizes. I got to go to Napa last year for free. That was amazing, amazing trip of a lifetime. So, perks are there.
Love it. And they treat you like royalty on all the trips.
Oh, yes.
So, Leann, I have a question. Say someone decides to there's a listener out there, they decided, okay, I'm going to get started with Pure Romance. And then a few months later, life happens. Something comes up, and they decide it's not for them. Is there any kind of penalty? What happens?
Nope, you just go inactive, and you have some free goodies if you haven't opened them.
I love that.
Free goodies for you. You know, I actually have some discontinued items that I hadn't even opened, and I was like, oh, it's discontinued. I'm going to stick that to the side for myself. But, yeah, Love Story last March. But I was a hoarder for Love Story. And it was a smart move because when Love Story came back, I still had inventory and demo when girls are still waiting on it to come in from the warehouse. I was smart in ordering that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Leann, if someone's ready to jump on board with Pure Romance and get started, what's their first step? What should they do?
They need to find a sponsor that they feel comfortable with, and make sure that this is the decision. Go over it. Maybe do an interview. I also recommend, you know, other than just purchasing a kit, I recommend that my new girls come in and at least shadow me one day in my office to see how it runs, to make sure that this is something that they really want to do. But once they make that decision, just go ahead and purchase that kit. The longer you wait on the fence, the longer you sit there, the less money you're going to make because you're not making money that day.
Obviously, yeah, definitely that wait. So if someone's listening in and they'd like more information about getting started, maybe they're sitting on the fence. Could you share, how what you do when you have someone that's maybe sitting on the fence, how you might answer some of their questions?
What I do is I sit down with them, like, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee. And I find out what their why is. Why are they really wanting to join this business? Is it because, I mean, obviously we're here for money. So, but what is the why behind that money? Are they wanting to take their kids to Disney? Are they wanting to get out of debt? Do they need to buy a new car? What is their why? And then we really kind of delve into that and how this business can help them fulfill that why. When I started this business, it was to pay bills. That was my why. And since then, my why has kind of become non-existent because the money that I make now, my why is to retire and to invest. So really dig down into the why. And then we go from there. I'm like, well, look, you need to do X amount of parties a week. You need to make X amount of money so we can get you set up on this plan so you can achieve that why.
One thing you mentioned, Leann, was in our conversations before this, was that you offer a 9-week new consultant training. Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure. It's a 9-week long boot camp. It's called the No Excuses Boot Camp. One thing that I got tired of hearing from girls was excuses. I can't do this because of that. Obviously, I'm not an excuse person. I mean, I'm disabled pretty much. My ankle is shot still, and I still get out there and do parties all the time. I get up every day, so I don't want to hear excuses. So this boot camp is 9 weeks long, where there's no whining and there's no complaining. I don't want to hear I can't. Can't is not in my vocabulary. I don't want to hear it. And so they have different assignments they have to do every week. I hold them accountable. This is the second, I guess, semester you could say that we're doing this. We did it over the summer. 80% of the women increase their sales and or increase the consultant level in those 9 weeks or since that 9-week course ended. So the sales are going up, everything's going up, recruiting's going up. So it's just a great boot camp. It's not just for new consultants, it's also for girls who maybe have gone stale in their business. I do have a few directors and advanced directors, and I think I have one senior director in my boot camp. So it's not just for girls who are new, it's all for girls who kind of maybe hit a rock or, they're trying to climb over some type of obstacle that's coming their way. It's a great way to just kind of kickstart them. Maybe just kind of go back to your basics. Whenever I find that I'm kind of going into a rut with my business, I always go back to basics. Okay, what did I do that first 2-3 months? What did I have to do to achieve what I did back then? And so just take it back to the basics.
It sounds like it reminds me of the saying, stay a student, no change means no change.
Always.
And another question is, if someone didn't have access to your boot camp, what other training is out there and available for our new consultants?
Oh, endless. We have Party School on the COO. Party School, I'm an advanced director, and I still go back through Party School. So there's tons of outlets on Facebook. I actually admin several different groups where girls can go get information that are drama-free. I don't tolerate any of that Facebook drama. The COO is just a wealth of information. When we first transitioned from slumber to pure romance, I got on the COO and I literally navigated myself around because I had to learn everything about it. So also there are tons of ladies like you and myself out there that ladies can reach out to, and they don't have to support them. they can use us as mentors. I'm open to mentoring anybody because I know what it's like not coming from a very strong upline. So I just kind of like to pay it forward. But there's endless training resources. There are YouTubes. I mean, just everything.
And then corporate trainings. Could you share a little bit about corporate trainings?
Oh yeah, there's corporate trainings, there's national trainings, there's World Conference. Corporate trainings, we have the market meetings of Do Life Different 2.0, Pure Success. Unfortunately, I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so Chris, you're watching this. We need one down here. My nearest one is in Dallas. It's 8.5 hours away. And I do drive to Dallas 8.5 hours away to go to the corporate meetings. But also I do meetings here in my home, literally in the room you're seeing. The corporate meetings are just, they're a lot different than local meetings. The mojo there, the excitement, the atmosphere almost kind of tingles and sparkles, especially with corporate and with also national training and World Conference. So, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of facets for women to learn.
I love your description. Tingle and sparkle. Yes, that's exactly how I would describe the corporate trainings. Tingling and sparkling. I love it. I love it. And so you're amazing because you do what needs to be done. Yes. Driving 8 hours, you have a hurt ankle. You do what needs to be done, and it's obvious why you're so successful. You don't let anything stand in your way. So I commend you. Oh my goodness. And if you don't mind, as we get ready to end here, I'd love to ask you to share maybe one of your most memorable moments with Pure Romance.
I have two, if that's okay.
Oh, definitely.
My first most memorable moment was back on July 10th. I remember the date of 2014 when my phone rang. And it was Patty Brisbane on the phone telling me that I had won a trip. She picked up the phone and called me personally to tell me I won the trip to Napa. And I remember screaming, and my husband came running in the room, and he's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I was like, I'm sitting there getting dressed, and makeup's everywhere. I was going to actually teach in Biloxi, some girls in Biloxi at their meeting. And I was like, Patty Brisbane's on the phone right now. He's like, the owner of Pure Romance. So that was definitely very interesting, very memorable. And one of my other most memorable moments is walking on stage as President's Club. When I was at National World Conference back in August of 2014, I took a photograph of all the ladies up there on stage in their beautiful ball gowns and everything. And I told my friend, I said, look, I'm going to be up there next year. And she goes, go ahead, do it. And I was. So ask, believe, receive. If you can see, if you get a picture of yourself doing it. And so walking across that stage this past April, being President's Club and being up there and being recognized and having your name called and hearing the cheers and everything, it's just a moment that, you know, it's like a drug. You just want to relive it over and over again.
Love that, and that endorphin rush. I'm going to ask one more thing as we get ready to end. Would you share your favorite quote, inspirational quote that comes to mind?
My favorite quote, and I have it hanging up on my wall. It's by Robert Collier. It says, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out."
I love that. I love that.
Yes, it's hanging on my wall. I'm actually staring at it right now.
And you are an excellent example of little steps creating that big success. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I greatly appreciate your time and sharing your enthusiasm and your success with us tonight. And oh my gosh, get some sleep because you got a bunch of parties coming up, and and I can't wait to hear more about your success and continue to watch you hit those big numbers.
Thank you